Dark Lord shall rise.
A lesbian? Good afternoon, Genesys gamers. I'm MBT, and this is 100-point playtesting. Okay, it's been a month. It's always a little weird when something like this happens, a deck's playable in both the TCG and Genesys, but in this specific case, I feel I've done a disservice. See, DARKLORD in the TCG is a fine strategy that I was strong-armed into playing by my Patreons, and DARKLORD in Genesys is a tier 1 meta threat. Well, better late than never. Presenting DARKLORD.
Darth Plagueis is a Dark Lord.
So here's the list by Scarlon. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Looking for a place to find inspiration for Genesys decks? Well, look no further. I've already spent years telling you about how Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is the best repository of deck lists, strategy articles, third-party assistance with alternate ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh!, and card collection management on the internet. But right now, it's also the best way to find Genesys lists. You can sort by deck type, filter high-level tournaments to see what's been working, and download decks you see in any format you desire. That's why I'm proud to be sponsored by www.ygoprodeck.com. Now back to the video. With that, let's dick around with DARKLORD. DARKLORD is a series of monsters once renowned for a single purpose: drawing deep. DARKLORD Ixchel and its associated monsters play well with trade-in, allure, and, well, themselves, so for the bulk of their lifespan, they've been Exodia fodder, and a deck and Duel Links we don't need to mention so as not to cause PTSD in players still grinding ladder. Recently, that's all changed, thanks to a new wave of support from Burst Protocol, but its power level has still been decidedly below the necessary threshold to compete in the TCG. In Genesys, however, a couple of pops and a board wipe is more than enough to be competitive, so let's see what we can accomplish. With that, we'll get into the card by card. 2 copies of DARKLORD Morningstar, necessary fusion fodder for the first DARKLORD. DARKLORD, this one, 3 DARKLORD Google, 3 Indulged DARKLORD, and 3 DARKLORD Jehudi. Because they are fairies, you are playing 3 copies of Herald of Greenlight and 3 copies of Herald of Orangelight. If you've played any Genesys, you know this is a great place to be. For now, these cards are definitely getting pointed in the next update. 3 Banishment to the DARKLORD, 1 DARKLORD Contact, 2 DARKLORD Dance, and triple Fusion Deployment because this deck is also on a Cartesia package, another common refrain from Genesys. 2 Double Wild here are just Ixchels 4 and 5, and then DARKLORD Rebellion, the Sanctified DARKLORD, and oh my god, does this deck love the Forbidden spells. We're on 3 Forbidden Droplet. For the rest of our pointed cards, we're on Mulcharmy Fubulos, 3 Ixchel, and 2 Cartesia. In the extra, we've got 3 of the first DARKLORD, 3 of DARKLORD Evening Star, 2 Granguinol, 1 Skull Wagon, 1 Luluwa Lilith, triple Time Lord Progenitor Forpgate for a heavy polymerization package, a Minerva, the Exalted Lightsworn, and a Mirrorlogic Aggregator. In the side, we've got 3 Heavy Poly, 3 Twin Twister, 3 Nibiru, 3 Ultimate Slayer, and 3 DD Crow. So with that, let's hop into a game. Our match is up against Regenesis Dogmatica, which, though they are going first, is not that big of a deal, as it's one of the lower ceiling decks in the format. They're going to begin with a copy of Royal Archfiend for Regenesis Archfiend, and I'm looking at this hand that includes a copy of Forbidden Droplet and feeling pretty good. Regenesis Archfiend is going to grab Regenesis. They will use that to get Regenesis Lord, then they'll special out the Regenesis Warrior, and then special out the Regenesis Lord, setting, of course, the trap Regenesis Birth. I'm looking at the double fusion deployment and feeling a little bad, but I think the Cartesia is just so high value that it may not matter that we have a couple copies of it. Next, they're going to normal summon a copy of Dogmatica Ecclesia for a Quad Dogmatica, and then set a mystery card that could be literally anything. Another Forbidden Droplet isn't exactly where we want to be, but we'll go for fusion deployment for Cartesia, summon out this copy of Indulged DARKLORD, activate the effect CL2 Cartesia for a Granguinol, and give our opponent Mr. T. From here, we can activate the effect of the DARKLORD Ixchel in our hand to draw a couple of cards, and then after that, we can activate the effect of the Google in order to grab a Dance. We'll dance using our opponent's monster as material to go into DARKLORD Evening Star, activate its effect into a Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis, the Thunderbolt, and then as they activate the effect on field, we can activate Forbidden Droplet to negate everything that does anything. They're going to clear the field as we go for Banishment to the DARKLORDs for a Morningstar. That permits us to use the Evening Star to perform a fusion summon for a full first DARKLORD, wiping our opponent's field. They'll activate the effect of Quad Dogmatic Beast and Regenesis Birth to tuck the only monster they can target, but this is still 9,000, so we'll get in for 4 and 5. Woof. So it's time for game 2, and unsurprisingly, we are going second. This hand's not fantastic. I mean, Twin Twisters is a good card, but in this position, we're already going to minus ourselves off the Herald of the Orangelight. I mean, this is going to have to be the best banishment of all time. Our opponent's going to begin with a copy of Royal Archfiend. Go ahead and grab a Genesys Archfiend. Next, they're going to normal summon a copy of Ecclesia. That Ecclesia is going to get them the necessary 2,500 attack point monster to reveal for the Genesys Archfiend. Then afterwards, they're going to do just that, revealing to summon out Genesys Archfiend. They'll activate the on-field effect of the Genesys Archfiend. I figure this is probably a good enough card to pop, and it turns out it is. I'll set one and pass. We'll begin by normal summoning this copy of Indulged Darklord off the top, pretty good, into a shared ride. We'll give them Mr. T, but we got to OTK now because we do not want to be here for the crackback. We will go for a banishment of the Darklords, and then afterwards, we are just going to go ahead and fire off this copy of Ixchel to draw 2, and activate the effect of Google A to grab Dance. We'll once again activate the effect of the Dance using our opponent's monster for Darklord Evening Star, then activate its effect into a Flirt of the Thunderbolt. Of course, they already had it. They will set a copy of Dogmatic Punishment, but not a lot they can target here. We'll go Twin Twister to force it out early on the Indulged Darklord, and then we'll go for Rebellion and Contact in order to bring back Ixchel, activate its effect in order to grab a Morning Star, and what do you know, we can finally go for the effect of the Evening Star in order to pop the field once again using Morning Star as fodder. We'll do just that, and once again, this is 9,000 points of damage. They have nothing else to cheat out, and we get to walk with it. Ah, hell, I've got to get to 8 minutes somehow. Let me show you a game where we go first. This is our mock game 3, and for the first time in the set, we are on the play. We're going to begin with a copy of Fusion Deployment for Blazing Cartesia. Then we'll go for Banishment of the Darklord for Google Lay. After that, we can use the effect of the Cartesia to perform a Fusion Summon for Granguinol, triggering the effect of the Google Lay and unfortunately giving our opponent an opportunity to activate Fleur-de-Lis the Thunderbolt. This hand is pretty crappy, to be honest. I hate these Balatro hands, but you're playing so many 3-ofs. Thankfully, you can cash them in with some plays you're going to see a little bit later. We're going to go for Dance here, getting an Evening Star onto our side of the field, setting 2, then activating the Evening Star to add from deck to hand, courtesy of Banishment, a copy of Ixchel. Ixchel can cash in the Banishment to draw 2 new cards, one of which is a Jehudi. We will normal summon the Jehudi to get a copy of Indulged Darklord, give our opponent a copy of Google A, and they're going to summon the tokens as well. That's a little cloggy, I don't know. It makes more sense when there's links in the format. We'll set a card and pass back to our opponent. They're going to Dogmatic Punishment our copy of Granguinol and get our Sanctified Darklord, courtesy of Entis as well. They're going to reveal Sage for an Archfiend. They'll activate the effect of the Regenesis Archfiend. We'll activate the effect of the Evening Star, and we'll copy the Fusion Summon to get a copy of the first Darklord using a Morning Star, which means a point of resolution will be able to blow up the entire board. It's a little early, which means our opponent probably still has plays, but we are prepared for them. They are going to start by activating the effect of the Dogmatica Ecclesia the Virtuous, activating its effect for Fleur-de-Lis 1, which does not target and therefore can affect our Darklord monsters, but can't do anything about their monstrously high attack stats. We'll use the effect of the Granguinol to get a Despian Luluwa Lilith, and we'll negate the Regenesis courtesy of Greenlight. We'll wield the back row traps to get more favorable attacks, but they do get some hits off. That said, nothing to do about our big boys. They'll set 2, and when play wheels back to us, you can bet we are going to try and chase them out. We'll draw for turn. That's a great one. We are going to go ahead and first start with the first Darklord. We're going to grab our copy of Google A. They'll activate Torrential Tribute. We'll activate Evening Star for a little bit of follow-up, and then unfortunately the board is going to go to the yard. We grab a Jehudi, and from here we just have to contest the last card. We'll do that courtesy of Darklord Contact for Ixchel. Ixchel in order to pop it. That's the Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. We'll normal summon the Jehudi, and then we'll chain the effect of Double Wild to grab another Ixchel. Use the Jehudi to grab out an Indulged Darklord, whose effect we can use to give our opponent a copy of Jehudi. From here, we will grab a Google A to grip, and then overlay for a Minerva. We'll mill 3, then go for the Darklord Dance for Evening Star, leaving our opponent on 1 card with a cycled copy of our Trap. We will do just that in order to set this copy of Darklord Rebellion, pass back to an opponent who only has 1 card to their name and a Regenesis and Yard. They'll use the Regenesis and Yard to bring back this copy of Regenesis Archfiend. That's worth a negate to me. Ixchel will gain us 25 on its way to negate. Then our opponent will reveal the draw is another Regenesis. No big deal because we can use the Rebellion in order to pop it and plus in the process. They will try and walk over our Minerva, but honestly, why even give them an inch? So we're back with the deck, and God, that wasn't close. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1, it's strong as hell. The end board really just dumpsters a lot of the metagame. Pops matter so much more in Genesis, and boy, does this deck do them. 2, the damage thresholds are out of this world. Obviously, I don't have to tell you after watching those games, but this thing prints 9,000 damage like it's its job. And 3, the targeting protection is pretty funny. In a format where Valor is so absolutely powerful, it's hilarious to just get to wall it. And the cons. 1, the deck's lines are pretty telegraphed. Practiced opponents will be more than ready for Morningstar and his associated fusion. 2, the sideboard. Board wipe style techs are pretty good against this strategy, which is a hard sell in a format where Illusion Gate is so everywhere. And 3, you end up in a weird, sorry place against decks that resist destruction. You have to get creative, and this deck isn't fantastic at getting creative. All in all, this is certainly a top deck in the format, and I look forward to seeing what it can accomplish after the new releases.